This video is if you are a fiction wide author. I've had my crystal ball out and I'm going to give you my top 10 predictions for 2026. And it's not about doing more. It's actually about doing key things better in your business. And as a result, you're going to have less chaos, there's going to be less burnout, and you're certainly going to have much more clarity with your business. So the days of things like rapid releases, constant discounts, and algorithm chasing are done. The next wave of success will belong to authors who build calm, strategic, and sustainable business. And this is about more than just your book sales. So this is your books forming the central core or the central hub of your business. And then you're also having other revenue streams coming out of those books. So today I want to share with you 10 things that wide authors should focus on in 2026. These strategies are going to be the ones that will set you apart when everyone else is still playing catch up. Let's get into them. The first one is focus on your health. Your health really is your wealth. I can't stress this enough. Over the past 13 years of coaching authors, I've noticed that there are some authors who just give and give and give and don't take time for themselves, and they're often the ones who burn out. So I don't want that to happen for you. If you work with a calendar or a diary, and if you don't, you should, then I want you to put every day in there an activity which is all about nurturing yourself. Your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health or your soul, whatever that looks like for you. You need to take time for you. You actually need to be the first thing in your business, not something else in your business. If you don't look after you, then everything that you're doing here to build your business really is not going to be worth it because you won't be around to enjoy it. So I want you to protect your energy, almost like the way that you would protect your copyright. You want to be really strong about maintaining your boundaries, setting those boundaries, letting people know what they are, and allowing yourself to take the time to take healthy breaks, not to work all the hours of the day, to take time out for you so that you can turn up healthy and you can turn up creative in your business. So if your mind and your body is not in a really good place, that's probably going to show up in your writing as well. So it starts to become a bit of a catch-22 situation where it's hard to grow, hard to expand and scale when you're not feeling good. And then, of course, that starts to cycle, and that's where the burnout happens. So focus on your health. Number 2 is build an email list of buyers, not freebie seekers. So notice that I put the definition in here around buyers. Too often we've been caught up with the metric of numbers. So when someone asks another author, how many people do you have on your list? They could say 1,000, they could say 10,000. I just want to compare those two numbers. If the person who has 1,000 subscribers on their list, if those people are engaged, if they respond, if they have a click through and open and buy, that collection of 1,000 subscribers actually has more value than someone who has 10,000 subscribers on their list, but they're not ones who open. Their click rate could be really poor. No one's buying. Whenever someone sends out an email to them, it's crickets. They don't hear anything from them. So the numbers really are a vanity metric. What you want is a list of dedicated buyers. It's almost, I like to call them super fans. These are the people who just turn up for you. They will buy. They will want more of your worlds. They will engage with you. They will interact. They will tell other people about you. This is the value of having buyers on your list. So you don't need really big numbers to make a really good business, to make 6 figures. You could do it with 1,000 subscribers on your list. So I want you to focus on your opt-ins, your offers, and your messaging, because this now becomes about people who are going to buy. This is not your freebie seekers. So too often in the past, what we have suggested and what authors do is they offer a free, typical first in series book in exchange for someone's email address. As more and more books have flooded the bookstores, what we have found is that that tactic is no longer working, because what actually has happened is that readers now have a collection of digital clutter on their reading device. So your book could be on there. They may have downloaded it, but they probably haven't read it because they simply have so many books to read that your book is lost in amongst all the other digital clutter. There's sales psychology, which suggests to us that when people pay for something, they award it a higher value. So they actually will read or work with or use the item that they bought, as opposed to something that they got for free. So I want you to think about that in the context of giving a lead magnet. I think there's still value in having a lead magnet where you swap that in exchange for a reader's email address. But I want you to start to think outside the box for that. What are other things you can do apart from giving away a free book? Here's a couple of suggestions that I've seen authors use, and I think they're really good. Firstly, gamify or gamification of things. So you could take your worlds, or you could take a book and kind of do a game with it. The reader still gets a sense of your style, what it's like, what it's to be a part of it, but they're doing that through a game. And we can do all sorts of apps, and you can do all sorts of different quizzes and polls, and there's a number of ways we can do this. But what you're doing is actually engaging that reader right from the very start. You're drawing them into your world. You're introducing them to the characters in a fun way. There's kind of like no pressure. They can kind of pick it up, put it down, and still enjoy it. So think of what kind of games can you play with your books, with your series, with your worlds. Another idea could be to take the serialization of books. So instead of giving away a book for free, you could offer the first couple of chapters to your readers in exchange for an email, and then you charge for the rest of the book. I find it interesting that people will pay up to $20 for a serialization of a book that they could easily pick up on one of the bookstores for $7, $8. But people do that, they get caught up. And of course, what this gives you the opportunity to do is not only charge for your lead magnet, but also provide bonus content. So you're really giving the reader a rich experience around the lead magnet. It's not just now, here's a book, you forgot about it. Now it's, here is a book and I'm going to drip feed it to you over a set period of time, but here's also these other things that come with the world. That could be art, it could be recipes, could be coloring sheets, it could be all sorts of things, but it's really about you engaging with that reader and reminding them why they love your work. One final option here is a bonus read, like a day in the life of. So what it is say a 3,000 word story about characters that you have that are existing. People may have read them in a book already or not. But what it does is gives people an insight into your world, into your books and your characters around one specific activity. So it's just a very short read. It's not a full-length book because you're going to charge full price for that. And I'm going to talk about that shortly. But this is just a short read that gives people enough information or enough of a taste about your writing style and how you like to present your world. So it really does tease out the concept, but without you having to give away a full-length novel or a novella. 2,000 to 3,000 words is a real sweet spot. And typically in an existing series you have, because that then is the perfect introduction into the reader then going to buy your book. Lead magnets are starting to shift away now from freebies into more of an experience. And that's where you get to shine the spotlight on your brand and your worlds and really draw readers into that whole experience. Our third strategy is for you to build your own store and sell your own books and other merchandise direct to readers. So what if you could actually sell your books without waiting for an algorithm to favor you, or without praying that a retailer decides to show your series to the right readers, or without losing a huge chunk of your income to platform fees? This is the power behind building your own store. So for wide authors in 2026, having your own store really isn't optional anymore. It's really a strategic asset. And what it's about is owning your readers. And I mean that in a nice way. It's about giving you freedom, because what it's actually allowing you to do is keep the details of your readers so that you can connect with them direct. In effect, you've cut out the middleman, which is the retail stores. So when a reader buys your book from Amazon, Amazon actually earns that relationship. So they earn the data, they earn the knowledge about what kind of books that reader likes. They determine what and how they're going to present your books to readers. Typically, the retailer will offer them one book. When you have your own store and you direct readers to that store, readers now get the opportunity to purchase in many ways. So you can offer them the first book in a series, and if they buy that, they can get a deal in other books in the series. And you can do this because not only do you have the freedom, you are the boss of you now, but you also have a greater royalty share coming back to you because you don't have that middleman in there anymore taking his or her cut. So I want you to have a think about that. You get the reader's email, you get the data about what kind of books they like. You may even find out what kind of merchandise they like. You can liaise directly with them so you know who your buyers are. This can help with your ads as well for later on if you want to scale. So really, you get the opportunity to sell to that reader for years to come because you have the information that you need in order to do that because you have your store. So your store becomes the beating heart of your author business. And that's the secret that a lot of authors still don't realize. Readers actually love buying direct from their favorite authors. So it feels personal to them and it feels special, and they feel like they can support you. Many readers are very cognizant and aware that authors lose a lot of money by putting their books into the retailers, that they have a very low margin. Your books are between $6, $7, $8, $9, and then a fair chunk of that is taken out by fees from the retailers. If you can bypass that, you've got more money, which means it gives you the flexibility to then offer deals. You could run a bundle, you could give early access, you can do special editions, you can give bonuses when they purchase a book or purchase a series. You can offer some upsells, you can offer some downsells. These are the sorts of things that you can't do when a reader buys your book through a retailer. So it's this level of freedom that you get that you're not going to get anywhere else. And building your own store actually protects you from income volatility. You know, when the algorithms change or when ad costs rise, when search visibility shifts, say there's an introduction of a new way to do things, and when retailers tweak the rules without warning and don't tell you. When it's your own store, you get to make those rules. You get to determine what is and isn't right for your business. I recently worked with Pets in Space 10 anthology, and their main retailer to get sales is Amazon. What happened a week before the anthology was to be released was that Amazon deleted the book because they said there was no file. There was a file, there was a mistake on their end, a bit of a hiccup. Got in contact. Yes, you can put the file back up. Sorry about that. Uploaded the file again, but what that meant was that all the pre-orders were lost. We had a new buy link, which had to get out to people who were supporting us and promoting us. So it certainly created a kerfuffle. Sales were lost, all through nothing to do with us. We did all the right things, but there was an update to the system. That's what kind of threw everything off. Amazon are not going to give those pre-orders back to us. So it was really a stressful time, given the fact that it was nothing that we had any control over and nothing that we could do, even though we had done all the right things that we needed to do. We are not the only one to have experienced something like this, and it happens at many of the retailers. It's not just Amazon. But what it is a lesson that when you have your trust and faith in a third party to get your book out there, that sometimes there's going to be a hiccup and sometimes it's not going to work and there's nothing you can do about it. If we had have changed that up a bit, and let's say we ran our own store, we had pre-orders uploaded on the store, we would know who our buyers were. If there was a technical fault, we would be able to contact them and set things in place, and we would have been able to have kept the majority of our pre-orders. So what's happening is when you have your own store, you really are starting to build a real business with real assets and real ownership. So I want you to ask yourself this: do you want to rely on platforms that you can't control, or do you want to build a home for your readers that belongs entirely to you? If you want a sustainable author career, the answer is simple. You need to build your own store, own your readers, and own your future. Strategy number 4 is to build a community that feels like home. Readers want to belong. They don't want to just buy. So whether it's a newsletter, a Facebook group, it could be a Patreon page or a circle community, choose a format that fits your energy, obviously. You want to focus on engagement, share identity, get to know your readers, do great things with them. A great example of a once-a-year activity that S.E. Smith does is a Christmas card swap. So readers put their name down if they would like to swap Christmas cards either by email or through the post. And it's really wonderful to see how many readers actually get involved with this, and there are cards flying around the world from all sorts of places. And their common connection is the fact that they read S.E. Smith. It's a really great way to build community. There's been 1,500 to 2,000 readers join in at any time. And it's a lovely way to recognize the holiday, but also to get connection building between each other. And you'd be surprised then how many comments you then see in the group about somebody who goes, oh my gosh, I already know you because you sent me a Christmas card. So it really does build and foster that kind of community. So I want you to think of what would work for you to focus on engagement and shared identity. What could you do? Where could you create this sort of thing? Typically, we've felt that we need to create community in a group. So it would be a Facebook group or something similar to that. In actual fact, you can use your newsletter or your email as a way to build community. If you are emailing, say, every week, you can create something in there which is all about your reader, put in lots of games, put in polls, get them really engaged. And by doing that, they then get to have this sense of community, share what people are saying, include a lot of reader comments in there. Not only does it help you with content for your newsletter because your readers are actually creating that for you, but it also does build this sense of community. So I want you to think outside the box. Community does not just need to be something such as a Facebook group or a circle group or a school group. On Slack, it could be on WhatsApp. There's all sorts of ways that you could do it. Or if it's not right for you energy-wise to be involved in something like that because it's simply too much, then think of your email as your way to build community and use your email as more of an interactive thing rather than it being a one-way source of information with the information coming from you to your reader. Encourage readers to give information back to you and you'll get that cycle happening. Strategy number 5 is to go deep, not wide when it comes to your marketing tactics. So I want you to pick 3 core marketing channels and master them. So one of these should be paid. And by that, I mean something like Amazon ads or Meta ads, BookBub ads. Ads are simply a great way for you to get visibility and be able to get in front of people. I want you, though, to go deep into whichever one you choose there. So let's say if you decide to go with Meta ads, then really learn how they work. Spend some time understanding them. If it's simply something you can't get your brain around or you don't want to do it, then outsource to somebody who's really good at it. And I want you to start thinking, what are the other things that you can do? So when you are thinking of your 3 main marketing tactics that you're going to go deep in, this is where you first need to take time to assess who you are and what your energy is like. What do you feed off of as opposed to what drains you? Obviously, you want to do things that uplift you, not drain you. So I'll give you an example. I work with an author, Jill, who is fantastic at doing podcasts. When she speaks, it's amazing because she really creates this rich and beautiful world. And it's almost like you can feel like you're there. So when she talks on podcasts, she has a great accent as well. When she talks on podcasts, the experience is one which is really a wonderful one for the listener because they feel like they're there. She paints this rich tapestry, which of course then is what's in her books. So podcasts really are the way for her to go to build. So I want you to think about your tactics. What is going to work for you? And it needs to be something that it's effortless. So for Jill, she just needs to turn up. The work is finding the podcasts to go on, but that's easy enough to do these days. But once she's there, she's just her and she's just talking about her books and her experience. And it just shines out of her that she loves doing this. So for her, that's the right thing to do. Now, if you are someone who hates talking, you hate being online, you hate being on video, that is not the thing for you to do. But there will be something else. There will be another marketing tactic for you to use. There are at least 50 marketing tactics that you can use to promote your business and your books. It's not possible to actually do all of those tactics. And that's why I say pick 3 and really go deep into those, but pick 3 that actually work for you. Podcasting is one for this particular author. For somebody else, they actually go to Facebook parties because they love that. From an energy perspective, they're excited by that. For many authors, the thought of doing a Facebook party is enough to drain them. And that's not the reaction that we want. So if that is, Facebook parties are not for you, so don't go there. You may want to have a group, say a WhatsApp group, where you can talk to readers. You may not want to do that, so don't do that. There could be reels. You can do your face to video, or you can do faceless videos. Reels are really good at the moment, so I would encourage you to actually do reels, whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, YouTube. They really give the reader a sense of who you are, and readers are looking for that. What's the connection that they feel with you? It's almost like you kind of open the door a little bit and let them into your life, and readers actually like that. You may think that it's silly and that your life is boring, but readers actually enjoy seeing what goes on behind the scenes. So open the door and let them see that. You can put your face on camera or not. That's up to you. Once again, this is you adapting marketing tactics to suit you. So strategy number 6 is for you to stop discounting your books and to sell your books at full value. So there's real sales psychology here that readers equate price with worth, particularly now, as different kinds of books are flooding the market. So when you are constantly discounting, offering your books for free or for 99 cents, you really are teaching your readers to wait for a sale rather than for them to buy when you release a book. Your stories are valuable, so stand by them and price confidently. The right readers will meet you at the right price level. Pricing really is an opportunity for you to have a look at your money mindset. So listen to the things that you say to yourself when you are looking at a price for a book. Look at the statistics that are out there around the book prices in the genres, and you will see that many books are priced competitively. So you may be thinking that $4.99 is too much and nobody will pay that, whereas there are plenty of authors who are charging $7.99, $8.99 for a book. There is also this idea that if you are self-published, that your book should be cheaper than a book by a traditionally published author. The expenses of a self-published author are the same as a traditionally published author. You need a really great cover, you need an editor, all of those things come into play. You need to get word out there about your book. You have the same expenses as a traditional. Why should a traditional charge more than a self-published author? There's no valid reason for that. So it really comes down to your mindset. How willing are you to charge the value of your book? So do some work around that, explore that a bit further. What's holding you back there in actually setting a fair value for your books? Strategy number 7 is to use AI, automation, and systems to free up your time. So in 2026, efficiency really is creativity. I want you to have a look at automating the business end or the back end of your business. When you think of automation, it's reader emails, it's ad tracking, your social media scheduling. All of these things are automated. You set up a welcome email sequence that just happens. You don't have to be there for that. You will have a look at your ads and see what's happening and track that through the use of the reports there. You're going to use third-party schedulers to get your social media out there so you can do bulk uploads of your content, say for a week or a month. And that way you're actually maximizing your time because you're doing things in blocks of time, which does save time. So start to focus on the things that matters by using automation to help you. So you will get to do more writing by using automation in your business. AI is not here to replace you. It's actually here to release you from some of the admin and business back-end side of things, which can be monotonous or repetitive. An example that I can give you is a GPT that I created for my authors that looked at book funnel offers. It listed a criteria of what the author was looking for. So whenever they got an email of all the various offers for promotions within book funnel, the GPT would go through and pull out the ones that applied to the author. For some authors who were receiving 10 up to, I think the top was 23 offers in an email, the time saved there was phenomenal. So that would have taken a couple of hours to have gone through and assessed covers. Were they a good fit? Did they meet the criteria of what the promotional thing was? All of that needed to be done manually. When we introduced this GPT, which actually did it for them, it could be done within 5 minutes. So compare the 5 minutes to 2 hours saved. Similar sort of thing with the Kobo promos for books. There's a GPT which can go through those promos and pull out the ones that would work for you, saving you a heap of time. You can use AI, automation, and systems to really make life much easier for you from an admin side of things. So consider how you can use that and bring that into your business so that you really can create a business that you don't have to be working in 24/7. It literally can run itself in the background while you either are out enjoying life, getting that exercise you need, or spending more time on writing. Strategy number 8 is to master your mindset. Being wide is a long-term game. You need to be resilient. You need to have the capacity to be able to roll with the punches, to go with the ups and downs and the twists and the roundabouts. So going wide is not a shortcut. It's actually a long and steady climb. And part of working on your mindset is that it helps keep you centered when the numbers wobble. You will find that there will be times when your income is lower than you expect, and you may actually find that going wide at the beginning is a bit of a slog because you need to put in extra work to get it to actually work. So when your mindset is strong, when your brain's healthy, that's what helps you stay strategic. Mastering your mindset will enable you to build that strength, that core, so that you know when you can jump on something and you know when you can go, I'm okay. I'm just going to keep in the lane that I'm in because it's working and I have the faith in myself that I will make it work. So your inner world actually fuels your outer results. So consider that, spend some time on your mindset rather than on chasing shiny objects or the latest trends. Keep your mindset strong so that you can actually run this long game and win at it as well. Strategy number 9 is to build strategic IP partnerships. So I want you to think about your stories, obviously intellectual property, but start to treat them like assets rather than files. So think about partnerships such as co-written universes, or you may want to get into some collectibles with your merchandise. Start to think how you can use your IP in ways other than just selling a book. What about the world that you've created in those series? Can you do something with those worlds? The prime example here outside of the book industry would be Disney, who've, say, created cartoons and now movies. And then outside of that, they have all sorts of merchandise that all relate back to that universe. So how can you do something similar within your own book business? What sorts of things would appeal to your readers? Could you offer them special editions? Could you offer them audio that is a character talking about something that's going on? These are all sorts of things that will expand your world and offer different things that you can sell to your readers who are all clamoring to be part of the world. There are games and apps that you can create now of your world, and this allows readers to experience what it's like to be in that world and just go and have a bit of fun. So think about how you can expand out from your current IP. It's not just books or audiobooks, translations. It's so much more than that. The job for you is to think about how can you make that something that would engage with your readers. What is special about your world? And lastly, number 10 is to build a personal brand ecosystem. So in 2026, your brand needs to live beyond social media. I want you to have a think about creating a path for your readers. So they would come to know you from your website, and then you've got your email, you're going to build a community, and then you'll be making an offer of some kind to them time and time again. So it could be an offer of a new release, could be offer of merchandise, could be offer of a game, something like that. So your role now is to really layer in more about you, because readers want to know about behind the scenes of their favorite authors. So think here in terms of things like YouTube channel or podcasting. You may want to do some live video sessions if that's your thing. You could do live recordings. I know an author who sends out a 5-minute, well, sometimes less than that, a voice recording out to her readers who are interested. She does that once a week. And it really just keeps readers up to date with what she's up to, what she's working on, where she's up to with the latest book. She doesn't want to be on video, but she's more than happy to record her voice. So she just does a little voice recording on her phone, pops it into the email and sends it out. This is all about not only building your brand, but also connecting with readers. And once again, it's building that community, that sense of we're in this together, come and live in my world with my characters for a little bit. And we all know that readers love that sort of thing. So create content that's going to outlast your trends, create content that's actually going to deepen trust. And typically that's something that has you in it. It could be that voice recording. It could be a reel with you face to camera. That's what makes it unforgettable, because it has you in it and you are just being you. You don't have to put on airs and graces. You don't have to make up anything. All you're really doing is, say, talking about what's happening with your characters, and that's what readers are going to love. So the future of wide author marketing isn't about fighting the algorithms or chasing the trends. It's really about alignment. So think of it in terms of your health, your readers, and your purpose. The authors who are going to win in 2026 are going to be those who've got a calm and creative strategic plan in place. They know what they want to do. They know how they're going to use their IP to further their brand. They're going to expand from just being somebody who writes books and sells books into somebody who has made a world with all sorts of rich and wonderful things in it that readers can experience. Being a wide author and having success isn't just about going wide in distribution. It's also about going deep in connection. If you're ready to create your calm and strategic system for 2026, I'll show you how inside your signature Get My Book Out There marketing system. Let's make calm the new competitive advantage in 2026.